This conference will now be recorded.
A warm welcome and a very good evening to everyone. Myself, Dr. J. Arulvalan, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in NIT Nagaland. Also the coordinator of this FDP program. So basically after the lunch, attending the session is a very difficult one. So as a faculty members. So I will try to make it is a more interesting level. So this session is completely different from the past sessions. So since the last 2.5 days, we are completely discussing about the IoT architecture, so IoT communication protocols, how the things are there, everything we discussed in the last 2.5 days. So, but this 1.5 hour, we will discuss about the how to analyze the IoT data. So already we are using the sensor, a lot of IoT devices. We are collecting the data. So this session we will going to discuss about how we will going to analyze the data. What are the roles are there? So what are the techniques we are using for analysis the data? That is IoT data, and how to get insights from the data. So that things we will discuss in the next 1.5 hour. So already you all aware of that, already you know the lot of definition is about what is IoT. Simple thing is connecting all the devices over the internet. That simply we can say that is IoT. This connecting all the things, the thing means normally we can say any device, anything we can connect over the internet, we can say that is a thing. So with any kind of built-in sensor, with the ability to collect and transfer data over the network with some manual intervention. So that is the meaning of the IoT. So here, using some built-in sensor, we have to gathering the data and transferring the data among the devices, among the whatever the devices are connected. So through the devices, we have to transferring the data. So here the thing is, and the one more thing you see, so according to the IDC, International Data Corporation, they are giving one statistics. So in the year 2025, almost the IoT devices will generate 79.4 zettabyte of data. So we cannot think about the quantity, how much data we are going to get it from that IoT devices. Already nowadays, now we are in the range of gigabytes. So gigabytes in the range of, I given that it is a 10 to the power 9. So that is the next terabytes, petabytes, exabytes, and zettabytes. That means a 10 to the power 21. The huge range of data 2025 using the IoT devices. Okay. So here this session we are gathering that huge amount of data. What we are going to do with the data? That is the main thing. So that is what is machine learning and what is the role of machine learning in IoT, and how the machine learning used to analyze the data, and how we will get some impact or insight from the data. So that we will discuss today. So this diagram is a simple view about your IoT environment. So the first part is we are collecting the data from the different sources. For example, temperature sensor, humidity sensor. So the left side, the first part is all the IoT devices we are having. So in the devices, you have to collect the data. So then the collect the data, we are using some the communication medium, whether short range or long range LoRa. So that I think that part already you discussed. So using the communication media, we are collecting the data and store the data into the cloud platform. So today our discussion is, I put it in the third part, analyze the data. I marked with the red arrow. So that is the part today we are going to discuss. So I think the rest of the other part already you discussed, how we are collecting the data, what are the protocol used, what are the communication media we are using for transferring the data between the devices and the cloud platform. All the things already we discussed. So this session we will discuss little bit the computer science oriented. So how we are going to analyze the data, how you are going to analytics using the some machine learning techniques. What are the machine learning techniques are there? So with the help of the techniques, how we are going to analyze the data? That part we will discuss in that. So we'll start with the data analytics. So whenever we are saying that the data analytics, one more time is there, that is we can say that there is analysis or analytics. So I will start from the basics. Maybe some of the participants may not be familiar in that computer science or machine learning area. Maybe they are maybe in the different domains. So for their understanding level, I will start from the little bit basic level. So first, some of the terminology. What are the basic terminology we are using the machine learning concept? First one is that so analysis and analytics. So first you see what is the difference between analysis and analytics. So analysis in the sense, I put the arrow. One is the past thing, past data. We are analyzing the past data. Analytics in the sense we have to predict the future things. What will happen in the future? So this is analysis means past. Analytics means future. For example, I will tell one small simple example. So for example, you are having some own business, own shop, some small shop, either at the shopping mall level or a small fancy store level. So for example, you are running your own business. So last 1 year, so many people they are coming to buying some products and some things. So 1 year you have the data. So 1 year you are maybe you are using some IR sensor to how many people are coming and how many people are coming and going to your shop. You are recorded all the data and all the transactions are so stored in your database. So while you are analyzing the last 1 year data, so you can able to see that what is the whether your business is profit or loss, how your business is going on. So that part is the analysis part. So the right side, another thing is the analytic parts from the 1 year data. So what insight you get it from the data? For example, in the 1 year data or 1 month data, so most of the people are maybe ladies. Most of the people are ladies may be coming. So most of the things are prefer for the some ladies consumer prefer items. And one more thing is that most of the people they are visiting the shop either Saturday and Sunday. So these things we have to get it the analytics. So that means whenever and mostly the month beginning of the first week. So every month first week more people are coming to visit your shop. So these are the data you are getting from the transaction from the recorded data means. So you have to give more importance and you have to give more items in the every month first week. So because more people are coming in the month of first week, suppose if the items are not available, so immediately they will go to the next shop. Nowadays in business, lot of competitions are there. We cannot predict the particular people always not predict to the particular one shop. Next to your shop, maybe next shop may be available. So if we want to run the business in success level, first we have to analyze the people purchasing behavior or people transaction behavior. Based on that, what are the items they are giving more interest, and when the people are more visiting to your shop, that's things we have to get it from the analysis the data. So after analyzing the data, we have to predict that if you want to sustain the business, if you want to improve your business, so you have to apply some analytics techniques. Analytics in the sense we have to think about the future. So what I have to do if I want to earn more business, or if you want to sustain in that market, so I have to improve the business. So that things we have to get it from the analysis data. So first analysis part, second one is the analytics part. So that it means analytics will think about the features. So this is the simple difference between the what is analysis and what is the analytics. So next one is that. So this diagram we will show that. So data science, data analytics, and the big data. So people they may say that the data analytics. Some people they may say that the data science, and some people we are saying that the big data. So what is the correlation between these terms? Whether all the terms are same or any difference is there? So that things I will explain with one simple diagram. So data science is the core topics. So that is the umbrella. Your analytics process, your data handling, data analysis part. So in the umbrella and the whole topic is the data science. In the data science, that means how you are going to analyze the data. What are the methodology we are going to, what are the concepts are there? That everything theoretically we have to explain in the head of data science. So that is that. And if you go for the data analytics, how you are going to implement the data, how you are going to analyze the data, what methodology you are going to use, what concept, what technique, what tools you are going to use to handle the data, to analyze the data. That is part we have to see about the analytics. So they simply we can say that data science is a theoretical concept, while you are implementing the things. Really, if you are doing some analytical work, or really you are doing some the insight into the data, then we have to do the some analytics. So that some lot of tools and techniques are there. That part we have to discuss in the data analytics part. So next one is the big data. So normally, traditionally we are handling using some traditional database system. So normally, for example, in our college, we are handling the some 1,000 students record, or in a small organization, so some 1,000 employees are working that, or 1,000 employee people are visiting one shop. So that things, for example, you are having the only one small shop, one small shop. If you are using some smart or IoT technologies to monitor, to control all the transaction, everything within the one shop, means hardly per month some 1,000 or 2,000 customers will come. Suppose you are having that company, your company is a MNC company. Through all over India, you have the lot of branches are there. You assume that you have the n number of branches are there. So and the n number of branches, then you have your data, maybe a huge amount of data you are collecting. Your data is not the normal, a small quantity of data. Your data is in the range of terabytes or zettabytes, huge amount of data. So if you are handling, you are collecting huge amount of data, or if you are going to process the huge amount of data, so our normal traditional database system or traditional data analytic method will not support. So we have to think about the next level. So when if your data is in the range of huge, there is large volume of data, there is large variety of data, there is a large velocity of data. Whenever the data is not in your control, it is behind the storage level, huge quantity of data, then definitely we go for the big data analytics. When your business or when your IoT devices, for example, in the first slide I showed that in the 2020-25, overall our IoT devices collected 79.4 zettabytes of data. So if you want to analyze the whole amount of data, then our normal processing is not difficult. It is not possible to handle the whole data. And presently in our country, we are aware that we are affected with the COVID-19 pandemic. So it is a very tragic situation. So almost very pathetic conditions now it is going on. So if you want to analyze the whole country data, then you imagine that what is the size of the data. So if you want to analyze, or if you want to process or handle this database, COVID-19 database, so definitely you cannot able to do in our traditional database concept. So we go for the next level. So in the next level is normally we'll deal with the big data. So big data analytics, a present trend it's going on almost in all over the IoT, machine learning, big data analytics. So these are the recent research topics going on. So that means your data is in the high level in the sense huge, quantitative level, high volume, high velocity, high variety of data, that we can go with the big data. So normally your data, we can say that the structured in the box, the diagram, the below I mentioned that what is I given the simple definition about the data science, data analytics, big data. Here I mentioned that structured data or unstructured data. So that part I will explain later. What is the meaning of structured data? What is the meaning of unstructured data? But now at this point you simply make it is clear. So big data means a huge quantity of data that cannot be handled by a traditional system. So we need some high level. I think you may heard about the Hadoop, Hive, Spark, Apache, these kind of technologies. Normally we will use for handling the big data part. So this is the what now here you make it is clear that what is the data science, what is data analytics, and what is the big data. Here in the earlier here that here I can use the term, some of the terms I use, you see in the data science, what is the definition I given? Data science is a field that refers to the collective process, theories, concept, tools and technologies that enable the review, analysis and extract the valuable knowledge and information from the raw data. You see here three terms I am using. The definition it consists of three terms. One is the valuable knowledge, another one is the information, and from the raw data. So now we have to make it is clear what is the difference between the data, information and knowledge. So these three terms, whether these three terms are related to the same thing or any difference is there among these three terms: data, information, and knowledge, and how is one term is correlated with another term. That we will see in our next slide. Here I'll give one example. For example, here I am make to clear about what is the difference between data, information, and knowledge. So data is for example, temperature 10 is the one data. Already we are aware of the database. So what is database? So database contains a collection of data. For example, I am having one database, temperature database. I am having the database, one temperature database. So the database consists of almost all the days temperature. For example, 30 days temperature. The first data in Dimapur, we are in NIT Nagaland. In our city is Dimapur city. So in Dimapur city, the December month temperature, 30 days temperature or 31 days temperature, I stored in the one database. So database files, I have temperature value 10. So next day temperature may be 11, 12. So up to going on, starting first day to the last day temperature 6. So that value normally we call as data. That means the collection of information, the collection of values stored in the database, normally we call as the data. Next we see that information. So what is the meaning of, normally we can say the information? Information means some processed data. Whenever it is the raw form, we can say it is a data. So whenever we can say that it is the processed data, then we can make it is a information. Here, what is the information? I told you it is for example in the month of December database. So I got to make it in some useful way. Some mean I am going to give some meaning to the data. That means 1/12/2019 or 2019 in Dimapur in Nagaland, the temperature is 10. That means the first day of the December month, the temperature is 10. So on the second day of December is temperature is 11. So 12, 13 going on. Maybe the last day, the December month, the last day temperature is 6. So this is the information. That means we are giving some additional value, some additional meaning to the data, then we will get the information. So this data is only available in our hand. So rest of the things we are using some techniques, we are applying some sense, we are applying some concept to extract some values, some meaning from the data. Original in our hand, whether your IoT data or transaction data, whatever it may be, or data warehouse data, whatever it may be, we are collected the data, or we are gathered the data in the form of data only. So rest two parts we are going to developing, we are going to extract, we are going to some insight into the data. So next you see that what is the knowledge. You see, after analyzing the 1 month data, you see the 1 month data, what normally if you are seeing the data, what will come in your mind? So temperature value is 10, 6, 11. So the values are very, very low level. So that means in the Dimapur, in the month of December, the temperature is very low. Correct? That normally in the month of December, over average, in the month of December, the Dimapur temperature is very low. So now we are in Nagaland, we are in Dimapur. For example, you may be in Chennai, or you may be Hyderabad, or you may be somewhere places. Suppose you are planning to visit Nagaland or NIT Nagaland in the month of December. So definitely you have to bring some jackets, or you have to bring some sweater or gloves. So we have to prepare, because if you are seeing the weather forecast data, if you are analyzing, if you are planning to visit NIT Nagaland, if you see the temperature database or forecast database, that will show only the 10 degree, 11 degree. That information, that value only you will get it from the database. But after you are applying your sense, or after you are applying some techniques, or after you are going to insight or analysis the data, then you will get some useful information. So from the information, you are applying your wisdom, or you are applying some your sense, then you will get the knowledge. So knowledge and information, the details are not available in our database. So that is the task of data analytics, or that is the task of machine learning. So in the machine learning or in the data analytics part, what we are going to do is, so from the database, how we will get the useful information, or how I will get the some extracting some useful knowledge from that data. So this it we have to make it is very clear, because we should know first, these are the basic terms. Maybe some of them already aware of these things, but you should know that what is the difference between data, information, and the knowledge. I think all of you may be very clear that. So before going into that machine learning, so first we should know about the some of the basics, some of the things about the terms, some of the terms what related with the machine learning. So this is the one term, normally we call it is artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is the root of almost all the technology. Normally we are using the machine learning or deep learning, These are the terms we derived from the term that is the artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is, we can say that it is a grandfather. So that is a top, that is the root of the almost all the technologies. So from the artificial intelligence only we will derive that machine learning and the rest of the parts. So what is the meaning of artificial intelligence? Normally a human being only related to the term intelligence. So basically a machines are by nature they are not intelligence. That means a machine does not have the ability to analyze the data and they take the decision. Because we are only a human being, we are having the brain. So we can analyze the data, then we can apply our sense, then we can take some decision. If you think about the raw machine, they don't have any brain. If they cannot able to analyze the data, they cannot able to take some decision against the data. So normally a machine, it by nature it is nothing, it can't do anything. So then one question will rise, is it possible to create intelligent machine? Can we make a machine like a human being? Can we make a machine to act as a human being? Then the answer is artificial intelligence. So we can make a machine to act as a human being. Whatever the human beings are doing, or whatever the human beings are thinking, or whatever the human beings are taking the decision, the same thing we can get it from the machine. So that is the word, that is the concept derived artificial intelligence. So and one more thing, this is not a new word. The artificial intelligence, the time we can use almost 60-17 years back, but again now the time is coming. So here you see the AI is termed in the mid of 1950s. And one more thing here I mentioned that, so two people, they completely changed into the computing paradigm. So earlier traditionally till 1950s we are using, you know, the earlier days computing, how we are processing, we got to submit the process, and for you have, if you want to get the answer you have to wait for the long days. So the processing, the computing thing or the computing processing is, it will take long time, it is entirely different. So after the arrival of these two people, one is Alan Turing, another one is John McCarthy, there is a lot of revolutionary happened in the computing field. So that means the Alan Turing we called he is the father of modern computing, and John McCarthy we can call he is the father of artificial intelligence. These two people, we can say these are the pioneers in our computer science. These two people given a lot of contributions to change the completely computing domain into the next level. They bring into the next level. So we don't forget these two names. One is Alan Turing, another one is John McCarthy. So these are people, they are more important in our machine learning concept. So according to John McCarthy, this is a simple definition I will give. What is AI? So AI is the study of how to train the computers so that the computers can do things which at present human can do better. So this is the definition about the computer. You see, this is the one diagram I can show that what is the relationship between artificial intelligence and machine learning and deep learning. If you are seeing the diagram, you can able to easily understand that. I already told you the core is the main thing, is the root is the artificial intelligence. Everything comes internal to the artificial intelligence only. So artificial intelligence, that is the top one. That what is artificial intelligence? So we can make a machine to create as act as a human being. So that techniques we call as the AI. So in the left side, I given that some of the algorithm, nearest neighbor based and symbolic programming, role based system. So these are some of the AI techniques. And you see in the year next 1980s, we developed some next concept, next big term, that is we termed as the machine learning. So that means how we have to make to machine learn. Normally human beings only learn how to make the machine learn. So that concept will comes in the part of machine learning. So after that, another term within the machine learning, we use the term deep learning. Nowadays, everywhere you can see the word deep learning. You see, almost 20 years back, we used the term data mining, database and data mining. These two people in 20 years back, we used to frequently we use the term. So almost some 10 years back, we used the term machine learning. You see, nowadays, mostly we are using the term deep learning. But if you think about in core level, almost all are same. Some level, some small concept level only, or small level of application level only difference is there. If you see the core concept, almost all are same. Deep learning mainly we use based on the some neural network based. So other, if you are seeing about the machine learning, everything, all the your decision tree, your Bayes theorem, random foster, SVM, everything will come in that machine learning. But you are but when we are going to the deep learning, it is exclusively only for the Bayesian network, only it is based on the neural network. So that concept is the neural network. So at the top of the diagram, I given the two things, that is what is the data science and the data analytics, that cover almost all, where your data science, sorry, your artificial intelligence, machine learning, in wherever, in both the terms, we have to use the term data science as well as the data analytics. Here in AI, I will tell one thing. So in the year 1990s, IBM developed one chess online, one chess program. I don't know how many of you remember that. The name of the program is Deep Blue. So IBM developed one computer-based chess program. So the name of the program is Deep Blue. So that program beat the Harry Kasparov. You heard that, you know the term Harry Kasparov is the world chess champion. The computer program, so using the AI concept, the IBM developed one program, one chess program in the year 1990. So that program, they beat the Garry Kasparov. That means, what is the thing is there? A machine can beat the human being. We can make the machine in high level, that machine can able, even though champion level human being, the thinking, the brain level people also it can beat. So that is the meaning of that. We can make the machine also like a human being. So here, whenever talking about the data analytics, normally, for example, where you are collecting the IoT data or whatever data, huge amount of data you are collected. So from the data, we are going to do some analytical works. We are going to do some analytics. That analytics we call as the data analytics. So what type of data analytics normally there? So totally, when we are saying that there are 4 categories of data analytics. So one is we call as the descriptive analytics. Another one is the diagnostic analytics. Another one is a predictive analytics. Another one is a prescriptive analytics. So descriptive analytics, what happened? For example, if you are running on business, so what happened in my business? Last 1 year you have the data. Last 1 year you have the data. You are analysis the data. For example, some losses, or some you got the more profit, or maybe you get some loss in your business, because nowadays you think about that, most of the business are now down because of the COVID-19. So almost all the people, most of the organization people, they are not able to get the good profit. They are almost shut down. Completely their shops are closed. They are shut down. They are not able to get any profit. So what happened? What happened to my business? That type of analysis normally we call it a descriptive level. Your analysis, descriptive level. What happened? You are analyzing the data. What happened to business? What happened to this? So that what happened to your result, or what happened to your promotion? Just you are analyzing the data. So that is a descriptive level. So diagnostic level means, why did it happen? How it happened? So we got to think about your first is simple analysis. So diagnostic analysis means, why did it happen? When you put that question, then you can, that type of analytics we call as the diagnostics analytics. So next level is the predictive analytics. What will happen? So this loss, what is the impact of this loss, or what is the impact of this profit into the next 2 years? So 1 year you are analyzing the data, then you seeing how it happens. Then this is happened, whether profit or loss, something happened. What is the impact of this incident in your next 1 year or next 2 years? That is a predictive. That type of analytics. What will happen in future? Already given the predictive analytics definition earlier also. So predictive analytics means it is a future. What happened? And the prescriptive analytics means some prevention method. So this is my loss. These things happen due to this reason. If it is going on, definitely it will affect the next 2 years in my business. For I want to avoid that losses, or I want to avoid such a situation. What prevention? What measures I have to do? So that things we have to think about the prescriptive analytics. What should I do to avoid the situations? That is a prescriptive analysis. So everything will come under the AA only. If you think that I put the arrow also, first one is only before the insight. What happened? Only analysis only, because you are having the summary of data. You are not doing an analysis. This is my loss. Okay, I got loss, or I got a profit. Okay, you are getting the simply you are got some descriptive only. There is no insight. There is no decision. There is no action. But while you start with the diagnostic, you may started with the diagnostics. That means the insight level. Predictive analytics also insight level. But once you are taking some decision, if these things happen in future, or this thing happen in the next 2-3 years, what measures I have to do, what steps I have to do, what actions I have to do, that in the pictures of in the analytics of prescriptive analytics. So this is the 4 ways of analytics normally while we are doing in the machine learning. What type of analytics? Normally, these are the 4 types of analytics. So left side I given the what are the tools, what is the techniques we are using. First one is just a reporting only. First you see the descriptive analytics, I mentioned that visualization, reporting and data. Just you got the report. Just they generate one report, just one bar graph. You'll see the graph. You are not going to go into the deep level, insight level. But the next only what if analysis. You are doing some analysis in the next level of the data analytics portion. So this is the simple thing. We have to I explain that what are the different ways of analytics. So if you want to relate it with the 4 analytics, you start with the descriptive analytics, that is a internal first level. So next level is the diagnostic analytics. Next one is the predictive analytics. If you last one is the prescriptive analytics. If you are planning to do prescriptive analytics, you have to do all the 3 also, because everything consists of internal only. You cannot eliminate. If you are planning to predictive means definitely we got to start with the first descriptive, then you got to do diagnostic, then only you go with the predictive. We cannot directly go with the predictive. So these are the some hierarchical level of the various 4 types of analytics. First one is a descriptive, second one is a diagnostic, another one is a predictive, another one is a prescriptive. So these things the same explanation previous slide I given the explanation, same thing only I am giving here also. So now you see go with our topic, that is a machine learning. So machine learning, that means it is related to the AI concept. That means we are going to make a machine to learn the things. We are creating a machine that will behave or that will act as a human being. Whatever the human being is going to do, the same thing we have to get it from the machine without the human being intervention. Without the human intervention, we have to get it all the things from the machine. So that is a concept of machine learning. So learning, first you think about, see what is learning. So learning means it is a process of converting experience into expertise or knowledge. So here that thing already I given that what is the meaning of knowledge, already I explained that. So here you are converting your experience, you are converting your past experience into knowledge. Normally we use the term learning. Driving, we go for some learning, getting the driving license. First we got to put the learning, then only you will the RTO office, they will give the license. So we cannot get a directly license certificate, directly original license. First we got to go with the learning. So what is the meaning? What is the meaning of the learning? What will do the learning stage? So minimum 1 month or 2 months we got to learn. That means drive the car. We got to driving the, we don't know earlier that how to drive the car, what are the parts are there in the car, what is clutch, what is brake, what is nothing we don't know. So in the learning 1 or 2 months, we are learning the things. We are learning how the driving is going on. What is the use of brake? What is the use of clutch? We are learning all the things. So once you learned the things, so after learning 2 months, now you are familiar. Now you know that how to drive the car, what is the use of the brake, what is the use of clutch. In the earlier stage, in between you may struggle. In between the car may be off, or you can the car may be not in your control. So after 2 months or the 3 months, now the car is completely your control. Now you are the expert. Now you are the master in the driving. Okay, that means in the last 1 month or last 2 months your experience, your learning, you converted into knowledge. So first beginning stage, the first 2 months while you are driving the car or you are learning the car, you don't know anything basics. Now you are starting learning. After complete 2 months or 3 months or 4 months you are learning, then you will be the expert. That means when you will get the expert based on the past 3 months, based on the past 4 months experience only, that experience you converted into knowledge, or that experience you converted into some expert level. So we cannot derive directly expert. If you want to do, suddenly you cannot make it as an expert, or suddenly you got not make it as a knowledge level. First we got to do some learning. We need some the experience. The experience which will come from the past analysis, the past data. So first 3 months you are driving, first 3 months learning. After learning, the learning should be converted into expert, or the learning should be converted into some knowledge level, some expertise level. So that is the concept of learning process. So learning, I think now you clearly understand the concept. So learning means the process of converting the experience into that some high level, some expertise level or knowledge level. So learning is a continuous process, because it is not a one time you learn and then you can make it. So first day you learn, second day, 6 months continuously you have to learn. Then only you got to, for example, suppose now also You may be an expert in car driver. Suppose you are not able to take the car 3, 4 years, 5 years, means you put the gap, means after you are suddenly start the vehicle, means definitely initially you may get some struggle. You cannot make it is a some correct movement. Definitely you will get some struggle, some 1 or 2 minutes. After that only we will be able to come to the normal level. So that means we have the some disconnect, that some experience. So that means you need the experience, then only you have to make it is a some expertise level. So that only we are saying that learning is the continuous process. The learning process, we can say it is a human learning process or machine learning process. So human learning process, I will give one simple example for the human learning process. For example, voice recognition. Voice recognition. You see, you are standing behind you, your friend or mother is standing. That you don't know. You are not able to see who is standing behind that. They are calling by your name. Your mother or your father or your brother or your close friend, they are calling by your name. They are standing behind you. You are not able to see them. By calling, they are using your name. So without turning your head, you can able to identify that this is my mother, or this is my father, or this is my brother, or this is my friend. How it is possible? So we don't have any storage level. So we are not turning our head towards the back. Simply we are standing one direction. Somebody is standing behind you. So you are not seeing there who is standing, where they are standing. You are hearing the voice. You are hearing the voice, one voice. After hearing the voice, you are identifying that this is my father, or this is my friend, or this is my father. Suppose you are hearing some unknown voice, somebody is calling. This voice you are hearing the first time. So what happened? Definitely you will turn your head. I think these things you may realize that our normal life we are using that. If unknown voice, you are hearing some new voice, immediately your head will turn back and you will see who is that. So this is this concept, how it comes with, that is a brain, that is a brain neurons. We are having the brain neurons. With the help of that only these things happen. That is a separate concept, separate technology, how the brain neurons work. That is a neural network. These things, this is the base for the neural network. That is our deep learning process. I think now it is very clear about the what is a learning process and what is a learning problem. For example, here I am mentioning two problems. One is a sorting words or sorting the numbers. Another one is the spam mail filtering. So these are the two problems. So I am giving one task to you to arrange the numbers or arrange the words in the sorting, ascending or descending. Another one is that whenever you are receiving the mail, so sometimes your mail may be go to the spam, or sometimes your mail will go to the inbox. We will not do anything. So automatically, whenever you are receiving the mail, sometimes some of the mails directly will go to your inbox. Sometimes the mail will automatically moves to the spam box. You are not moving the mails here and there. It is automatically going. So these are the two problems. So in these two problems, which one is the learning problem? So first is not a learning problem. It is a simple sorting numbers, sorting words. It is ordinary algorithmic level of process, just a calculation process. But the second one is we have to segregate which one is the genuine mail and which one is the spam mail. First, we have to identify some parameters. Lot of criteria are there. Internally, lot of processing are there. After processing only, we have to segregate that this is the spam. This mail belongs to spam, or this mail belongs to the genuine mail. So this problem we call as the learning problem. So who is doing that? Your machine is doing this problem. We are not doing. Manually, we are not segregating this is spam or this is genuine. Your system, your computer only internally, your system with the help of some programming concept that segregate the mails, move to the spam and that inbox. So this problem we call as the machine learning problem, because human, we are not doing the things, we are not segregating the mail. System, computer itself segregate the mail to this mail spam or this mail genuine good mail. So learning, your machine is learning the things. How the machine segregated it, analyze the past data. Your mail, the spam also within the one mail it will not move. So in the mail, your system will receive one mail, then it analyzes the type of the mail. What is the type of mail? Who sent, what time it is spending, whether the particular mail is coming frequently, particular one time, or some the length of the characters, type of the mail. So internally, lot of things are there. So after the analyzing the past complete history about the particular mail, then only your system will take some decision to move that whether the mail is spam or whether spam is the mail is the genuine mail. So now this is we called this problem we denoted under as the machine learning problem. So the term machine learning means to enable machines to learn from the past data without programming. So here we are segregating the mail into spam and the genuine mail. So internally, in between, we are not doing anything. Your system itself process the mail, and your system itself take the decision, and your system itself put it into the spam box or put it in the inbox. We are not internally, we are not doing anything. Internally, we are not doing any programming. We are not applying any programming concept. The machine is doing by itself. So that things that we call it is a machine learning problem. Now, here I will give one small example. What is the machine learning problem? Here one of my friend, he is standing here. You are seeing that. So he is more interested about the listening the music. He likes more music. So he likes the music based on the two parameters, two things. One is the tempo, another one is the intensity. So these are the two parameters he consider why he likes the music or dislike the music. You assume that. So in the tempo, they having the two values are there, or two parameters are there in the tempo. One is a relaxed, another one is a fast. Similarly, in the intensity also, one is the light, another one is a soaring. These are the two level of the parameters we are using in the intensity level, and the tempo also two things. Now my friend listen one music. So here some of the things I marked as the green, and some of the things I marked as the red. Green means likes and the red means dislike. You see, first one is the I marked one A is there. A is the one song. He heard one song A. What is the parameter of the song A? The tempo is almost fast, and the soaring also almost in the intensity level also almost soaring. In the x-axis I marked the tempo, and the y-axis I marked the intensity. If you are seeing the A, I marked I put one tick mark. You see near the tick mark one A is there. This A is there. So here A means the what is the parameter of that A? A is our new song. So now the character of the new song is it belongs to fast, the tempo is fast, and the intensity is soaring. So immediately we to put likes. So similarly, based on that, wherever the tempo is above to close to fast, and that intensity is above to soaring, he likes. And both the level are very low. If you see the the red mark, so all the red marks are coming under that. The songs, the tempo is relaxed level, and the intensity is light level. So now there is no problem. We can at human level we have put this dot. This song belongs to likes, and this song belongs to dislike. There is no problem. So you see one new song coming is a B. In between these two circles, between middle I put one circle. That circle, one new song is coming. That song is marked with the name of the song as a B. So in the song, yes, it is contained exactly it coming middle of the tempo, between the relaxed and the fast. Similarly, between the light and the soaring. The intensity also middle level. Similarly, tempo also middle level. So we can't do anything. We cannot able to guess. As a human being, we cannot able to guess whether the song belongs to likes or dislike. So now the concept of machine learning coming into the picture, because as a human being, high, low, for example, above the 40 marks, we can say that the pass. Below the 40 mark, we can say that above the fail. That type of decision we can take. In some situation, we may face some of the complexity of level or complexity of the data. The data may be more number of attributes are there, and the level also might be more complex level might be there. So in that situation, we cannot able to take the decision by our own. Humans cannot able to take the decision. So we have to need somebody help. That level only a machine learning coming into the picture. Now you see, I marked the dot B. B is marked initially. Now I given the diagram. I given that it is a green. So before the green, simply I don't know whether it is a like or dislike. Simply I mark the green, mark the dot without any color. I marked the B. Then I am applying some machine learning algorithm. Here, what algorithm I am applying that? K nearest, somebody maybe know the algorithm, K nearest neighbor algorithm. So K in the sense number of people, K denotes the number of people. So K for here, I mentioned that K value of K equal to 5. So from the particular dot or from the particular point, how many people, 5 people are related. You see, I marked the nearest 5 people. So with the distance with the point to the B, with the distance with the measure from the point B, I calculated using some distance measure. Lot of calculate distance measure might be there. You may know that Euclidean distance, Manhattan distance. Lot of distance calculation measure is there. From the point, I will measure the what is the nearest distance. 5 distance I will measure. I will distance the 5 measure. Here I measure the 5 distance. Then I mark one cluster among the dots. Then I will count among the 5 which one is the majority. So here I make a one circle with the 5. Then the 5 among the 5, 4 are belongs to the green and only one is belongs to the red. So now I can able to take the easy decision. So automatically the D will goes to the likes. Here suppose my k value, normally k will choose in the range of odd only. Suppose you may choose k is 4 means then you will get a 2 equally. Or if you may choose k value of k equal to 6 means what happen? You may get 3 equal. Then again you have some complexity will come. Again your mind will get struggled. So better you have to choose the value of k in the range of odd numbers. So now this is the symbol how the machine learning algorithm comes into the picture, how the machine learning used to segregate the data, whether the data is belongs to particular one or whether the data is belongs to the another group. We got to segregate the data. We got to analyze the data, likes and dislikes. So these are the two level of my result, like and dislike. So particular one data, you are analyzing one data, we are getting one new data. This data goes to which category? What is the group of the particular one data? So that if you want to analyze this kind of purpose, definitely we need some machine learning level. So a human being level also we can do take some decision, but your level of the data is behind the human being level, or it goes to the some complexity level of the data. So definitely you need some system help. That system is the machine learning. So machine learning now the play into the role of data analysis or the data analytics. So you see here I am, these are the some of the machine learning applications in the real time. Pattern recognition, face recognition, pattern recognition. You see nowadays we are most of the people we are using mobile using the some pattern or some the pin numbers. So after entering the proper pin number, so you have the sensor. Most of you know the how the maybe in the IoT sessions they may explain that how the mobile phones, how the patterns are recognizing, how your pins are recognizing. So when we are applying the pattern, when you are applying the some pin number, already your pin is already recorded. So already your pattern is already recorded into the mobile. So whenever you are applying the new pin or applying a pin or the pattern, it will check with the recorded data. Whenever the match comes, then only the mobile will open. So that means a pattern. Your mobile is a one device. That device recognizing that your pattern or recognizing the pin number. Similarly, face recognition also. Some of the mobiles or laptop we can use as a password as a face also. We can your face also it will open, or sometime it will recognize the speech also. Earlier I given the example. Similarly, password may be open. Some the laptop may be open with the help of the your speech, your voice also. That problems we can say that the speech recognition and email spam detection. Already I told you that previous example I explained that what is the email spam detection. And the Google Assistant. Nowadays everybody without Google we can't able to nowadays survive. Very well, whatever you need any help, whether you know the computer usage high level or low level, or whether you are the computer domain or the zoology domain or the whatever you may be the domain, but everybody we know that the Google. We term the you know the term Google. What is the use of that term also? Because whenever we need the new term or if you want to know something about it, immediately we'll search in the Google. So in the Google they give one more simple level of that helping also. That means Google Assistant. You know that app also no need to type. You can speech because sometimes what happens we don't know the language. We don't know maybe the English, maybe our own language, maybe Hindi, or my mother tongue, maybe Andhra, Telugu, or Tamil. So in that situation, we cannot use that our own language. It is very difficult. Then we can use speech. Your own tongue, you can speech. So what is the nearest hotel or what is the nearest shopping mall? Then immediately the Google Assistant, if you read the GPS data, then immediately locate to the nearest whatever you are requesting. It will find out the nearest data. So that is also some applications. And the healthcare, sentiment analysis, e-commerce. So almost everywhere now the machine learning things are come up. Almost it covered in almost all areas. So machine, some people may think that our topic is on IoT, but sir is more discussing about the machine learning and other means. How it is related to the IoT means in IoT you are gathering the data. So IoT device, sensor device, whatever the devices are there, from the devices you gathered the huge amount of data. From the data, you are going to analyze the data, and the analysis, machine will analysis. Instead of human being will analyze the data, how we have to train the system to analyze the data. So the training the system only, or developing the model, training the system, how to train the system, how to build the model. So that is a concept of machine learning. That is a work of the machine learning. You see, so this is the simple machine learning model. So the machine learning model, it consists of 4 boxes are there. One is the pre-processing, another one is the learning, another one is the evaluation, another one is the prediction. So in the first pre-processing is the first stage. So whenever you are gathered the data, we got to do the pre-processing. So in the pre-processing things, first we got to, our aim is we are going to build the model. For example, you want to do, I will explain with one small example. For example, you are going some medical diagnosis. So in the medical diagnosis, for example, you want to first analyze the medical data. You want to gather the medical, for example, patient symptoms. You are collected all the patient symptoms, whether you are using some blood test or some the stethoscope, so or some scan or whatever, or CT scan, whatever you are using, you are gathered all the symptoms from the patient. You are collected all the data. So after all the collected data, then you may think that whether the patient having the particular one disease, whether the disease A or disease B or disease C. So after that, if disease A, what medicines will prefer? Either we go for the treatment A or treatment B or treatment C. So everything is first we got to do with that analysis data. So that means the pre-processing the data. So pre-processing in the data is the more important. I'll give another one simple real example. For example, one student, he may scored the one exam, for example, in the maths, the subject is maths, he scored, the mark is 10, original mark is 10, but in the database somewhere he ended, or he may, by mistake it is ended as the 100. You would think that original data is 10, original mark is 10, by mistake it is entered is the 100. Then you see the impact of the data. If it's a 10 means what immediately in your mind it will come that he is a very poor student. He is not well in the mathematics subjects. So we have to arrange some tuition if the data is 10. But if the data is in 100, what do you think that he is an extraordinary student? He is a brilliant student. So within the 1 0, you see the impact of the result. Only 1 0. One is 10, another one is 100. Adding 1 0 or removing 1 0 will give the huge impact in your decision. Is it correct? So before analysis the part, before you are doing the prediction, before you are doing whatever the machine learning techniques, reprocessing is the most important thing. That means your data should be correct. Whenever you are gathered the data, when you are collecting the data from IoT devices, first of all, you make it is very clear that my data is correct. It is pakka data. There is no error in the data. There is no noise in the data. There is no unwanted things in the data. My data is correct. If your data is correct, then you are doing some analysis. Definitely, you will get the correct result. If your data is wrong, whatever analysis, whatever techniques, whatever tools you are using, your final impact, your final result will be entirely wrong, entirely negative only, because your input is wrong. Your input is wrong, definitely your output will be wrong. So make it is very clear, make it is very sure about the pre-processing. So for that only, almost all the machine learning, deep learning, wherever you are doing the some machine learning things, data analysis part, pre-processing is the very important stage. We have to take care more serious about the pre-processing. How we have to pre-process your model, so that only pre-processing more important. In the pre-processing, what here the stages I am thinking that we have on the data. Actually, the thing is what is the machine learning model will thing means we have to build one model from the existing data. With the help of the existing data, your model will predict the future. I will tell another one example. For example, in the first example, I mentioned that bank loan application. Normally, if you are submitting, if you want to some bank loan, so what you will do? We have to go to the bank. Wherever you are having the account, you will go to the concerned bank. Then you will apply. You will ask for the bank loan. Then the manager will direct who is the loan, where is the loan section and others. Then they may not give whatever you are asking. For example, 5 lakhs means they may not give immediately 5 lakhs. First, they will submit one form. The form may be 10 pages may be there. Most of the things we are not able to understand the things. Some may be Hindi, other language. Lot of things may be there in the form. So what are the basic things may be there? Definitely they will ask what is whether you are a government employee or private employee, how much asset you have, whether your wife, spouse also have the employee, private or government, how much land you are having, how much own property you are having. They may see your background. So after they are seeing complete analysis your background, okay, you have the ability to repay the amount. Suppose something happened, they have to recover the money. So for that only they will have to collect all the your background details. If your background you are very strong, you have the own property, you have the monthly, your monthly income is strong, or your parents also having the some government employee, your wife also having the some good income, then definitely they will sanction the loan. So that decision, who is taking the decision? The manager level is taking the decision. So you are submitting the application. First, after seeing all the data, they may sanction the some of the application, or they may reject some of the application. For example, last 1 year, 1,000 application they received. One bank, they received the 1,000 application. The 1,000 applications, they sanctioned, for example, 600 application form, they sanctioned the loan. And the 400 application, they rejected the forms. They may not give the loan. So you think now in your hand, you are having the 100 database, 100 records. In the 100 records, you have the result also. That means X is submitted, Ram is submitted, he is having this kind of parameter here having, finally our decision is sanctioned. And another one guy submitted, these are the parameters, finally we decided that reject. So in the 100, 600 application sanction and 400 application reject. So now this is your database. In the database, now I want to make it is a machine learning. I am planning to make it is a, I want to implement in the system wide. So I am thinking to apply the some machine learning algorithm, how to create the model. Instead of a manager, instead of a human being, one system, your model will predict whether we have to sanction the application or we have to reject the application. For that only, you take one data set. That is my first part. You make the data set is pakka very clear. There is any error there, or any noise there, any unwanted thing is there. So you have to remove all the things. Then you divide the data into two parts. One is a training data set, another one is a testing data set. One data set, that means I told you like we have the 1,000 applications are there. In the 1,000 application, you make it 80%. I didn't divide the equal number, equal portion I am not giving. Training data set, I am giving the more portion I allotted to the training. Whereas less number of portion only I allotted to the test data set. So training is more. From the training data set, we have to develop some using some machine learning algorithm. The middle second layer is the learning. I am using some machine learning algorithm. Any one of the machine learning, decision tree, Bayesian, lot of machine learning algorithms are there. You may choose any one of the machine learning algorithm, build one model. Now, the model you test, already you have the test data set. The test data set also already some result are there. You hide the result, you check, give the parameter, you check how your model is giving the result. Your model result, the existing result, whether both are matching, whether it is correct, then your model is okay. If the model is not okay, if the model is not up to the level, you are not satisfied with the model, then again you redefine the model. So that is the looping process. The evaluation is the looping process. Until unless you satisfied, until unless the model is giving some 100% of measures, the accuracy of the model is high level, then only we have to implement in the realistic level one. Now, then you see the last part. I am giving the new data, one new bank application, one new loans form is they are submitting without there is no label. That form, there is no sanction, no reject. Your model only we say that whether it is a sanction or it is a reject. The label in the sense whether your form is goes to the sanction level or your form is goes to the rejection level. So this is a simple process, a simple view about the machine learning, how the machine learning will works, how the machine learning will behave. So these are the stages. First is the pre-processing, second is the you got to applying the learning, and another we have to evaluate the model, we have to check the measure of the model, file and only validate the model. You check the model with the new data. Whenever you are applying any machine learning algorithm or in the IoT data, whenever you are planning to do any analytics work, you have to follow these steps and make it is very clear. Pre-processing give you more weightage. So before applying the machine learning or any learning algorithms, so you have to make very clear your data is correct. In your hand, your data is correct. So bank loan application, medical treatment, weather forecast, and the clustering students. So these are the some machine learning algorithm. So I will differentiate this problem in the upcoming slides. So this is the next, the same thing only I explain another, the historical data, past data. We have the result of the data also. I am using some machine learning algorithm. I am constructing one model. So this is the model. So this model now check with the new data. Now I will check how your model is behavior. what is the score of your model. The first above the first part is we are training the model. The below part is we are scoring the model, how your model is behaving. If the model is pakka, then there is no problem. If the model is not up to the level, then if accuracy is not good, then we have to redefine the model. So the same thing only. So first this is the stages. What are the steps involved in that machine learning task? So first data pre-processor. The data pre-processing, we got to remove the unwanted things. Another one is the feature engineering. This also one important things. For example, normally in your database you are collecting, gathering the data, and the data may be having n number of attributes. 1000 attributes might be there. For example, if you want to predict one student, whether the student is a good or bad. So in this situation, this is your analysis work. Whether the student is pass or fail, or whether the student is good, average or brilliant. This is your analysis task. So in this task, no need about the what is the student, the father, grandfather name, what is the grandfather address, what is the grandfather occupation, what is the father occupation. No need about the all other data. You need only the marks, name, register number. This is enough. No need to process the unnecessary attributes. Maybe the database consists of the data set consists of the 100 attributes. In the 100 attribute, particular your task, particular your data learning machine learning problem, what are the attributes are important, which of the features are important, which of the features are relevant to the particular task. That attributes or that features only we are going to extract from the your original data source. That part we will do in the second stage. That means a feature extraction. Then we got to use the model, and finally we got to measure the performance. So the measuring the performance, lot of performance measures are there in the machine learning. So using the measure, we got to measure whether our model is correct or not. So here in the pre-processing, I told you in the pre-processing is the most important thing. Here we have to first you are cleaning the data. First you are going to cleaning the data, and the cleaning the data, we got to find the outliers. You see what is the meaning of outlier? Some data, they may be extreme level in the data sets. You see, I am giving one data set. First data you seeing that 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So this is the one data set. The data set consists of 5 values. So this is you completely related to some IoT concept. So you IoT, you are collecting the data, you are gathered the data with the 5 sets are there. Normally it is not a 5, it is a huge amount of data will be there. So in the data, in our understanding example, I take it is a 5 data. So what is the average of the first data set? 10, 20, 30, 40 plus 50. You add all the 5 data, then you divide it to 5, then your average may be 30. Maybe my calculation is correct, means their average is 30. You see the second data set, 10, 20, 3000, 40, 50. Instead of 30, I added by mistake, I added 3 zeros. You see there, what is the average of the data set? 624. 624 is the average of the data. But you see that total 5 data is there in the data set. Among the 5 data, only one data is completely deviated from the data. If I remove the 3000, so definitely your average will be the less than 30. If I include that only one data, your complete analysis is the huge level. If I remove the 3000, what is the average? The average is in the range of below 30 only. I include the 3000, you see the average 624. You see the rest, you remove 3000. Whether the average is 624? No, because only the data are 10, 20, 40 and 50. So here the 3000 is the, what is that? It is an outlier. So whenever we are handling the data set or whenever we are processing the data set, we have to think some data might be outlier. So outlier analysis also one of the important research area in the data mining or in the pre-processing. That a lot of formulas there. We have to use IQR. You may computer science people, they may know that the IQR range, interquartile range. If the data is, that means we have to divide the data, whole data set in the 4 range of level. Whenever the data is coming below the first quarter and above the third quarter, so we have to use to calculate the IQR value. So with the help of the IQR value, we apply the things, then we have to identify the outlier data. So in this example, I am not showing that what is, in what way we will calculate the IQR or what way we have to identify the outliers. But if you are for a human understanding level, if you are seeing the data set, you can easily understand that you are seeing that 3000 is an outlier. So we have to remove the 3000. So this data, if you are include this data for in your analysis or your analytical purpose, definitely you will get the some huge wrong, some your result will be highly deviated because that data is outlier data. So that is also important. Then we got data integration. We have to normally in our data sources, in our IoT data, you are collecting data from the different sources. not only one source. We are gathering the data from the different sources. So we have to integrate the data from the various sources. Here we have to think about the heterogeneous and the homogeneous data, because normally the data may be, we will not use always, we will not use the same kind of setup in different places. In one, sorry, not same, in one placer we may use the different setup. That means the environment is homogeneous. While you are integrating the homogeneous data, definitely we may face some problem, because one data may be one format. One data may be one range of the data, format of the data, type of the data, everything may be different. While you are integrating all the data, put it in the one box, so definitely you may face some problem. That issues comes under the category of data integration issues. So that also one important area. Another is a dimensionality reduction. Dimensionality reduction in the sense feature engineering. So whatever the features are important, so dimension, features, attributes, variables, these terms are almost the same. When we are talking about the database, we use the term attributes. When we are talking about the machine learning, we use the term features. When we are talking about the statistics, we use the term variables, but almost all are same. So where we are using the term attributes, features and variables, this term almost pointed at the same thing only. So that means dimension also we can say that it is also attributes. So we have to reduce the dimensions and we have to transform the data. We have to make it as a form. We have to make the data in the within the same format. With the range we have to fix it between the 0 to 1 or between the 100 to 200. So we have to fix the data. That means we have to normalize the data within the range. Data transformation means we have to use some normalization techniques. Lot of min max normalization, zero base normalization, zero score normalization. So much of normalization techniques are there. Using the normalization techniques, we got to convert or map the data into the within the range. So these are the process we have to do in the pre-processing. That means before constructing the model. Before constructing the model, these stages are more important. So next we will see about the, already we are very time is okay. So types of machine learning. So these are the major important types of machine learning. Normally we categorize the machine learning as a supervised learning, unsupervised learning. Another one is a reinforcement learning. So in the learning, the right hand side I given on the triangle. So you can see that the learning we can categorize the supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. That means your machine learning problems. Suppose in the weather, forecasting the weather, or we are identifying the whether you have the disease or not. So these type of problems we can put it into the any one of the learning problem. Either it may be a unsupervised, some of the problem may be a supervised, some of the problem may be a reinforcement learning. So what is the meaning of supervised learning? Supervised learning, the diagram itself I given the top. What is supervised? Labeled data, direct feedback and the predict outcome and the features. Here I am giving that what are the important parameters we use in the supervised learning. Here I am giving one small example. Here simple example only, you can easily understand the thing. Supervised learning is the labeled data. So your friend may giving you to the lot of coins, so much of coins, not only 3 coins, huge quantity of coins they may given, your friend is giving. It is your close friend, you may think that. So in the coins there are 3 types of coins are there. One is our Indian rupees coin, another one is the euro coins, middle one is the euro coins, another one is the dram coins. So in the first coin, the weight is the, what is the weight? Normally you are in your hand, you can see that is the weight is the 3 grams. Middle one is a 7 grams and another one is a 4 grams. So 3 coins. The weight is the feature. What is the feature of the coin is the your weight. 3 gram, 7 gram, 4 gram is the feature of the coin. What is the label? What is the outcome of the coin? Whether it is a Indian rupee or whether it is a euro or whether it is a dollar. So that is the feature. That is a label. Label. I am saying the label. This is the label of the coin. Indian rupee or euro rupee or it is a dram rupee. So this is the label of the coin and the feature attributes parameter is the weight is the your feature. Now you see, so whenever I am giving the new coin, so using this coin, using the weight and the label, I build one model. I build one model in the middle square is one model. In the model, I am giving one new coin. There is no label of the coin. There is no label of the coin, but already I build the model with the help of the label, with the help of the features only. If whenever you are submitting one new coin, so if the coin is having 3 grams, mean we can, the coin should be goes into the bucket of rupees. If the coin is 4, then it is a drams. If the coin is 7 grams, then it goes to the euro. So accordingly, whenever I am giving a new label data, new data without label, only weight is there, only 3 grams. We don't, because I highlight with the yellow. Yellow means there is no currency. We don't know the label. Only we know the weights. Only we know the feature. I am giving the feature. I am giving the weight to the model. In the model will predict. The model will give the result. This is rupee or this is currency. Sorry, euro. This is the what is that drams. So that is the supervised learning. Supervised. Normally, what is the meaning of supervised? We are learning with the help of the supervisor. We are learning. Somebody is assisted to learn. Here, who is assisting? The label data. Some of the past data, already the data set having the label, the data set is having the resulted data, the data with the result. With the help of the result, with the help of the label, you are going to predict. That means that is supervising. Somebody is giving help. Somebody is assisting to learning the process. That type of learning we call as the supervised learning. With the help of somebody, with the help of the past data, with the help of the experience only, you can able to take some decision. That means in supervised learning, whatever your problems belongs to the supervised learning problem, you need the past data. The past data with the label, then only we can use the supervised learning. So if your problem is belongs to the supervised learning, for example, earlier I given the one problem, for example, bank loan application. Earlier I given here, you see bank loan application. Here already we have the sum of the applications, the 1000 applications, sanction or reject. Already class label is there. When we are submitting new application, your system, your model, your machine learning model will take some help from that existing data set. Then only with the help of that data only, that analysis part only, you can able to predict what is the outcome of the new data. So this is the supervised learning. Another one supervised learning is unsupervised learning. The unsupervised learning, there is no need for the labeled data. There is no need for the labeled data. For example, here one cricket data set. The left hand side I am giving the one data set. The data set is a cricket data set. Already everybody, I hope everybody knows the cricket team. So in our Indian cricket team, so many players are there. For example, this is the one last 10 years our Indian cricket team data. So in the 10 years, we have almost 200 or 300 players. They may played in our Indian cricket team. So currently we know, everybody knows Sachin Tendulkar. So presently we know that Virat Kohli is there, and some bowler Harbhajan Singh is there. Some bowlers also there. So that means in the cricket team we are having the names. The names along with the only two parameters. One is the score, another one is the wickets. Name with the score and the wickets. We don't know the particular one batsman belongs to the which group. We don't know the group of things. So now generally you may know that whenever you have one player is scoring good runs, they may not get good wickets. Whenever a player get the good more number of wickets, they may not go score good runs. Suppose some extraordinary cases may be also there. For example, Hardik Pandya, he may score a good run also. Sometimes he may get the wicket also. But normally when we are analyzing the data, so batsmen think they may score good runs and they getting less number of wickets. If you are thinking about the bowlers, they may get more number of wickets and scoring the very less number of runs. So I analyze this, for example, 200 players details are there. I analyze the pattern of the data. I plot the pattern data into the one graph. That means X range, X axis I take the wickets and Y axis I take this runs. So whenever you see that, I plotted the data. The dotted means one player. If the players, those who are coming very more number of wickets, they may having very less number of runs. So whenever the players scoring more number of runs, they may getting very less number of wickets. So according to that, I make a one group. So two groups from the data. I plotted all the data into the one graph. In the two, now I can make it is a two groups. One group I can get it as the bowlers. Another one group I can make it is a batsman. For that, I no need for the past data. Here, what is the difference between the supervised learning and unsupervised learning means? In unsupervised learning, there is no requirement of the past data. Whatever you are giving the input data, you analyze the pattern. According to the pattern, you can able to take the decision. No need for the experience. No need for the labeled past data. Unsupervised learning without help of the somebody, without assisting somebody, your machine learning or your model will predict. Your model will take some decision. That type of model we call as the unsupervised model. So this is there is no label data. There is no yes or no. There is no sanction or reject. Simply we give the data. The data we got put it. This is the batsman. This is the bowler. This is I am giving one data set to segregate that the boys and the girls. So automatically group some parameter. We use some parameter with the help of the some parameter to group. This is the boys. This is the girls. So that is the concept of the unsupervised learning. So another one learning is there, that is the reinforcement learning. So in this learning, it is entirely different. The reinforcement learning is entirely different with that your machine learning, it's either supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So this learning is we call as the reward based learning. For example, in this learning, normally three people are there. One is environment, agent, another one is action. I will give one real example. For example, everybody we knows that playing the chess game. Normally, if you are playing the chess game, two people are there. So there are a lot of two sets of more coins are there. In one coin, we have some rule is there. We cannot move the coins anywhere in the board. Each coin movement, some rule is there. For example, horse, it will move this direction only, or bishop, it will go this direction only. So you see the environment. For example, there are two colors of the coins are there. One is a white, another one is a black. You are taking, for example, you are playing against with the computer or against your friend. Your coin is black. You are taking the one bishop coin. You see the environment. You see the position. There is some rule of the movement of the bishop. You see the environment. You see the environment. You take some action. You move the coin with one position. After place the coin in the particular position, what reward you will get? Either in the position you may kick opponent coin, or opponent coin will beat your coin. So that means after your action, you may get some reward points. The reward may be positive or reward may be negative based on your action, based on the what your decision. So that means, so this is one simple example. I think you may understand the example. So before the place your coin into the particular one position, you may analyze that all the possible movements, all the possible position. If I place the coin in particular one spot, what will happen? Whether I will get the plus or minus, whether I will get the positive or negative. Accordingly, that means first you analyze the environment, you take one action. According to the action, you may get some reward points. The reward may be either positive or in the case of negative. I told you earlier, the IBM developed one chess game, that is a Deep Blue, that is also based on the reinforcement learning only. So they completely analyzed all the movements, they recorded all the movements. So based on that only, they beat the Garry Kasparov. So this is the whatever I explained the things. I summarized all the learning with the help of the one symbol, one diagram. What is supervised learning? Data with label, data with without the label. Another one is the states, reinforcement learning. I think if you are understanding all the things, then I think no need to for explain. Already time is running. So this is the what are the categories of machine learning algorithm? Supervised learning, unsupervised learning. In the supervised learning. So there are two categories are there. One is the classification problem, another one is the regression problem. Here I want to explain that what is the difference between classification and regression problem. So both are under the supervised learning. I told you both the problem, supervised and the regression, are coming under the supervised learning. Supervised learning means you have to build the model with the help of the past data, with the help of the label data. I will give two examples. One is, for example, you are going to the predict weather forecasting. You want to do your analysis of weather forecasting. One is the thing. Another one thing is that whether you want to pass or fail in one test, or whether you want to buy one home. You are planning to buy the home. So my problem is whether you will buy the home or not. So these are the two problems. One is the weather forecasting. Another one is whether you will be able to buy a home or not. So in the weather forecasting, suppose you want to predict the tomorrow weather, you cannot predict the particular one value. So tomorrow 24 hours is there. In each hour, each minute in the temperature value may be different. Morning 6 o'clock one temperature, 7 o'clock one temperature, 8 o'clock one temperature, 9 o'clock, 1 hour, 1 minute in the temperature value will be changed. So there is no predicted outcome. The outcome is some long range continuous values. In the outcome is the discrete value, then we can say there is a classification problem. Whereas your prediction, your output is the continuous data, then we can say that is a regression problem. Weather forecasting comes under the regression problem. Buying a car, sanction of the loan, whether you have the which medical treatment, that may discrete. Your output is there, your outcome label is a discrete data. Then you can say it is a classification problem. Whenever your outcome is the continuous data or a continuous variable, then we can say that type of problem we call as the regression problem. But both the regression and the classification will come under the supervised learning. So another one learning is the unsupervised learning. So that is a clustering. So here right side I given a lot of the algorithm. These are the machine learning algorithm. You can use according to the whether your problem is classification problem. You can choose support vector, mission, naive Bayes, nearest neighbor. These are the machine learning algorithm. Each algorithm will having lot of plus and pros and cons will be there. Depends upon your problem, based on your data set, you can choose the different types of algorithm. One algorithm will best or suitable for the different kinds of domains or different kinds of the problems. So this is the simple overall definition about the machine learning. You map the variable x to the map to the variable y. Y is the outcome variable and the x is the input variable. F is the your machine learning algorithm. F of x. If you are using any one of the algorithm, f is the any one of the machine learning function. So that will predict the what is the value of y. And e is the error. Sometimes you will make it the error. We cannot predict initially 100 times. Definitely we will get to the some error. So then we have to loop feedback. The process is the continuous looping process. It is not a one time in one measure we will build them. We cannot able to build the model. We have to do the lot of continuous processing, looping processing, feedback processing. Then only you can able to achieve the a good predicted high level accurate model. Then only E is more important. So this is also a simple machine learning. What are the supervised learning? What are the problems are there? What are the applications are there? Lot of applications I explained. I pointed with the which category, whether it is supervised or unsupervised or whether it is a reinforcement learning, some of the applications. Now we'll come into that your IoT. In IoT, this is a one IoT applications. In the IoT application, the lower level is your prescription of smart devices. Already you know that whether you are using RFID or some of the IR sensor, or temperature sensor, humidity sensor, moisture sensor, vibration sensor, whatever sensor you are using. So that is your physical level. So you are gather the data. So second is the what network layer, what communication media we are going to use. And at the top of the thing is the application. Nowadays, whenever whatever the term you put one word smart to the before the term, that is a one IoT application. Nowadays things are going on like that only. Smart building, smart home, smart health, smart city, smart car, everywhere. Whatever the term is terminology is there, you put one word top smart before the word, that will be the one IoT. Okay, so this is the general scenario here where machine learning part is coming. What is the role of machine learning in there coming to the picture? So your analysis the data, that means normally your machine learning you see we will use in the application level. In IoT application, you are gather that sensing the data and you are using some of the rules and the semantic using that we have to gather the data. So at the top of the application, whether you go for the smart home or smart health or smart transportation or smart industry or smart car, whatever you are using that application, in that application we are using the machine learning. Then here you can think that what type of machine learning, whether your machine learning is the supervised or unsupervised or reinforcement learning. So it depends upon, you may decide according to your problem. So normally the data we can say that if IoT, what are the data we have to generated from the IoT means normally we can categorize the data into the two level. One is the IoT, one is structured data, another one is the unstructured data. So what is the meaning of structured data? If a data is coming within the structures, within the, we can fix the data within the row and the column. You can put it in the some area. We can fix the row. So this is the size of the data. This is the maximum this much of character we can store, or this type of data we can store. That type of data we can call is a structured data. Normally in your database data, your relational database text data, all the data are we normally we call as the structured data. Unstructured data, suppose some image, some video, some audio. So this some mail, your mail. So this type of data normally we call is the unstructured data. There's no format. We cannot able to store it into the particular one level. We cannot able to define the type of data, define the level of the data. So that type of normally we call as unstructured data. In IoT, in our IoT environment, most of the data are in the form of unstructured data only. Very rare only we will use gather the structured data, but most of the cases are the unstructured data only. So handling the unstructured data is entirely very difficult for. And the automation data. So normally your data is the automated. The machines are automated. So the data automated means, so the data, the devices are moving automatically. Your machines are generating the data automatically. Your sensor gather the data, collected the data. That data normally we call as automation data. Another is what is the status of the particular device? What is the status of the particular one stage? That we call as the status data. What is that mean? What is the status of the particular device? When the device is particularly state, what type of automation data it will generate? So that is the status data. So the automation and data, these are the major types. So other data sets also there. We can, that may be also generated from the IoT devices, log files, mobile geolocation data, video feeds, product usage, and so many things are there. So these are the some of the data we are using. And nowadays, another one terminology, everywhere we use the term IoT. Now, another one new terminology also is coming into the picture. We call it the AIoT. That means a artificial IoT. That means artificial intelligence. In the IoT devices, normally the sensor gathered the data. The sensor gathered the data. We are human intervention is there in the analysis part. We are doing some, we take the data, we are applying some analysis work, and we have to take some decision. But in AIoT, no need for the human intervention. It is a inbuilt. All the machine learning application techniques, all the artificial intelligence techniques are inbuilt into the IoT devices. That is a new trends is coming on. That is we called as IoT. Now it is almost almost nowadays almost all the IoT devices, most of the IoT devices, they are using the concept of the AIoT. That is, we can combine to the AI, artificial intelligence. If you are combining AI means, I told you AI is the core, it's a root area. If you are inbuilting, if you are combining AI means internally automatically you are inbuilting deep learning, machine learning, everything is comes into the picture. So if you are inbuilting all the AI techniques into the IoT devices, that is we call this the AIoT. So this is the one LoRa. Already you heard the word LoRa. So this is the one small application we did. I did in my college. So the process going on. So what are the applications in our NIT Nagaland campus? We are planning to implement design the smart campus. So in the already you know that the northeast side means northeast area. A landslide is the one of the important things we are facing very frequently. Whenever there is a huge raining is there, then definitely we'll face, frequently we are facing the landslide. And in internal campus, I am planning for the fire detection, water level in the hostel, what is the level of the water tank. Suppose hostel, one hostel is located in the different places, and one person is sitting in the, ideally he has to control what is the level of the water, whether the water is behind the level or the tank is full. That is a water level monitoring. And light and rain sensing. Suppose we got to here in the northeast region, suppose evening 3 o'clock we may get to the dark. Sometimes earlier 4 o'clock we may feel like it is a 12 o'clock time, noon 12 o'clock timing. So light, we got to automatically switch off the light. So rain sensing and air quality monitoring. So everything we are planning. So that setup normally we call as the LoRa. Using the LoRa, already you know that LoRa means it is a long range one setup. It's a long range communication one media, because our campus is huge area is there. So we have to place the sensor devices, sensor setup in the different places. So we have to gather the data from the different, almost all the places. So we are planning for the LoRa setup. So this is the simple setup. Sensor nodes we are placing from that. So we are using ESP232 along with the Raspberry Pi. If you are seeing that things, you can able to understand, because already you know that already, sir, in the earlier sessions they may explain a lot of things about the IoT setup and others. So this is a one simple application we are doing. So then everything is we coordinate a central system and we have to monitor it in the mobile. So this is the one project now currently we are processing things. So this is the lot of IoT based machine learning application is going on. Currently you see that everybody we are aware of the COVID-19. So last 2-3 months, a lot of researchers going on in the COVID-19 coronavirus detection with the help of the deep learning. So deep learning is the one of the important upcoming area using the deep learning concept, because in the deep learning the concept is a neural network. Already I don't know you know about the neural network means input layer, hidden layer, output layer is there, but because internal processing is the huge thing, because it is a virus detect, whether you are going to detect whether the one particular person having the positive or negative. So it is a sensitive things. You cannot randomly saying that sanctioned the loan or rejected the loan. If a person is having that positive or the person is having the negative, if there is no corona or he is affected with corona means, we have to do lot of looping process, lot of analysis process. Whenever we are doing lot of complex level of analysis or complex level of looping, definitely better you go with the deep learning. So in deep learning internal is the, it is a base, it is depends on the base neural network, artificial neural network. So in neural network the stages are input layer, hidden layer and output layer. Hidden layer is the only the complete processing we are going to do in the hidden layer only. So lot of project, if you are seeing that COVID-19 IoT based COVID-19 research means you will get a lot of papers. So that is also some IoT based application is going on. And RFID, if you are using that RFID data, we can apply for the some of the classification problems. Morning I think one ma'am asked one things, whether it is detected the false positive or whether it is detected the false negative, that we can use solve with the help of the RFID. And already I told you almost smart cities, smart home, smart city, smart transportation, everywhere we can use the IoT also. and a driverless car. Nowadays, most of the in foreign, some of the countries already they started the driverless car. So the car it is inbuilt of lot of sensor. Your sensor will, because in the traffic it will be green, yellow, red will be there. The sensor will automatically read the things and we will program the everything is programmed. Already the car is completely programmed. Without the driver, the car will start and stop according to the traffic condition, according to the programming condition, and the car will work. And the e-health care system, and nowadays everybody we are using that one contact trace app. Our ministry, our MeitY, Indian government, they asked almost all the people to use one app. You know that is Arogya Setu app. You know the use. Everybody, I hope everybody is using that. So here it is used using the GPS Wi-Fi. That means the Bluetooth, the GPS range. Whether first you have to enter the data. If you are entering the wrong data, then the app will predict wrong also. If you are giving the correct input data, then using the GPS location, it will detect whether your nearest your people is having that, whether it is having say, whether the particular in your nearest range within the Wi-Fi, within the Bluetooth range, whether anybody is any corona affected person. So you can detect whether the nearby in your nearby whether any corona affected person is there or not. So that is the Arogya Setu app. That is also comes under the IoT. These are the recent trends. These are the application recently we are using. So nowadays I'm coming to the conclusion. So IoT is the one area, machine learning is the another one area. If you are combining these two, lot of research, lot of wonderful things we can do, because nowadays human generated data is very less. Everything is IoT. Everywhere we are using machine only. There is a human concept is very less. Everything we will go to the automated machine based only. So machine is used to generate the data. How you are going to analyze the data? Data generation is IoT. Analysis part is the machine learning. If you combine these two, you will do lot of wonderful things in your research or in your academics. So I hope you enjoyed the session. I think I'm not covering up to the top level. So at least I give some basic level. So my area of interest is data analytics and machine learning only. So if you are anybody is interested, or if anybody want to know more about the machine learning or data analytics means, so please anytime you contact me or you approach me, definitely I will help. Thank you. If you are having any queries there, any questions there means you post, I will answer. Mani sir. Hello. Any query is there? Any question is there? Please ask. Most of the things I cover from the base level only, because some of the participants audience may be very low level. So
what kind of framework we use, sir, to build a model?
Ma'am, that is I told you, machine learning means the model. For example, if you are using the
no sir, no. I got it, sir. Actually, that's not the question. See, I wanted to combine that. I want to completely build a model. So I need a framework to build a model and depute on the I want to depute it. So I have to build the complete model, no, sir. So I need to use some APIs or something like that. Is required to build a model?
So, ma'am, if you are having that almost all the Python everywhere, we have the lot of built-in packages are there, built-in libraries there.
Okay, okay.
Python everywhere, languages R, Python everywhere they have the built-in models are there.
Okay.
So you call the model, you give your data set, then you predict, you can measure that. First, for example, decision tree in the particular one code, how much accuracy you are getting. SVM, how much accuracy you are getting, or Bayes theorem, or Navy Bayes, how much accuracy you are getting. So depends upon the data set. In each model will give that may predict different. The performance may be different. Some data, some problem, some model maybe give more accuracy. The same model in another one problem or another one data set, it will give the very less accuracy. So model, data set, everything we got to correlated.
Ma'am, I think you can use Python for machine learning.
Yes, sir. Python for machine learning, sir. So how about the back database, sir? What kind of a databases I can connect? Because when I'm pulling the data, I have to put it into the database, right? From the database, I have to pull and I have to process in Python. And then again, I have to put it. So I need to have one framework, no, sir?
Ma'am, you are computer science background or you are?
Yes, sir. Computer science.
Yes, yes. Ma'am, framework, I told you, ma'am, framework means if you do that, all the things nowadays ready-made is available. Data set also ready-made available. If you are having the own, you are planning for the own data set, then you got to develop either MySQL, some database you got to prepare. Already the data set is already there. Already whatever, whether it is a CSV format, whatever the formats are there, the data
Okay.
set, ready-made data set is there. Ready-made
Okay,
model
okay.
also there. You got to do the some
Okay.
plugging plus.
Mhm. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Any other things, ma'am? Any other doubts? If you have any doubts, you post it or you mail me, I will clarify.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Mani sir,
Sir,
sir, how things, sir?
sir, I think the question.
Hello? Hello, sir.
Hello. Tell me, ma'am.
Arul sir, I think the questions are not there in the chat.
Okay. Everything is thank you only.
Yes,
Time
sir.
is-
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ma'am, any your doubt is there, you chat, you put it in the chat or you mail me also. Everybody knows my mail ID.
Sir, I put it, sir. Sir, what is smart home? I'm asking. Just
Smartphone.
smart home,
Home.
smart city.
Ma'am,
Smart
have you
city.
attended the last session?
Sir, I have attended, sir, but you told me
The
that
last
smart car, I
session,
have heard it, but a smart home, I didn't hear what kind of
Smart-
example you have given. Home,
Ma'am, smart. I think the last sessions are
smart
completely
city,
smart home. You are
RFID
asking.
class. Yeah.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of normally the term smart, ma'am? Everything is without while you are entering into the home, while you are whether your door is in the door, you are recognize you are filling some sensor. When the sensor will automatically detect you are the correct person. So then automatically
Okay.
will open. No need to open the door. So everything is automatic. That is a smart. Ma'am, I told you nowadays if you are put to the word smart in everywhere, that is IoT.
I know that, but I want to
Yes,
smart home. What I
if
want to
you
know
want to
about
know,
something.
if you want to know
Thank
more about the smart home, I think the last sessions are given a lot of the PPT. I have seen some PPT slides. Sir, explain with some smart home application only. Okay, ma'am. Any other thing, Mani sir?
Sir, I think it's fine, sir.
Fine.
Sir,
Okay.
I think one madam asked about this database, no, sir. MLDB is there, sir. It is open source also.
Open source. Yes. Machine learning MLDB is there.
I don't know her name, but there is a database
Yes,
called
sir.
ML, which is dedicated for this one open only for machine learning.
Okay. Sir, like people will be saying MongoDB and like SQLite.
MongoDB,
That is
Hive,
fine, madam.
that
Whatever
is
data you are storing
big
in
data environments.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. It depends on what application you are doing, madam. Okay, so you can choose whatever application, like your database, the type of database. Say if you use for RDBMS, whatever there is a data which is related to another object, then you will use RDBMS. Correct. So in that way, we have a lot of database. We have spatial database. Say if in case you want to store the latitude, longitude, okay, there
Yes,
you will
sir.
not use RDBMS. You will
Okay.
use that spatial database. Okay, because like
Yeah.
those spatial database will have that information about that map. So if you want to build a Google a map kind of thing, then you will be going for a spatial database. Correct.
Yeah, sir, actually, I'm looking for two applications. One is a fault detection, which I have asked, and the second one is smart dustbin. See, whenever I'm taking that dustbin, no, sir, I'll be picking up some pictures and I want to store and then analyze in the cloud. So, what kind of a database I have to choose for this particular context?
Here, ma'am, here our one of the MTech student, he is doing the project in the smart dustbin only.
Okay,
Almost
okay.
I completed, ma'am. I will ask
Okay, sir.
some
Okay, sir.
details.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Okay,
give
sir.
mail
Because
ID.
I'm just, yeah.
Student, he is almost completed. He almost implemented the things, smart dustbin. So
Okay.
I will give you your number, or I will give this number to you. You communicate, ma'am. You'll get more idea.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so
Okay,
much,
okay.
sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Right,
Thank you.
right.
Thank you, everybody.
mldb.ai is the website. So there you will
Okay.
get the more idea about the database, madam. Whether you are
Okay,
analyzing
sir.
about the images or other things, you can note down there. Like that's open source,
Okay.
which is dedicated for
MLDB.
machine learning.
MLDB.
Yes, sir.
MLDB
Yes,
is
sir.
there. Yes, sir.
Right, sir. Because I'm looking at how to do the real-time projects, sir. So this concepts I'm understanding now. I'm looking at how I can build a new applications, real-time applications. So thank you so
Ma'am,
much for clarifying, sir.
where you are working, ma'am? Where you are
Sir,
working?
I'm from Bangalore, sir. I'm from CMR IT. My name is Vakula
Very good.
Rani.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. We will keep in
Yes,
touch.
sir. Right, sir. Thank you so much,
Okay,
sir.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you.
Sir,
Ma'am,
one
you
more
will share
small.
What, ma'am?
Yes, sir. What are the few applications of reinforcement learning, sir? I
Ma'am,
think it is a goal-based,
yes, it's a reward based. It is a reward based, point
reward-based
based.
or goal.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
reward based.
So,
Whenever
sir,
you,
will you give?
it's a long optimization level problem only. Each step you have to take. If you are moving one step, what is
Yeah.
the capacity? What is the negative?
Yeah,
will
you
get?
are getting a plus or minus. So it is a goal-based, right? So what are the what is an application, sir? Real-time applications. Just
Real, for example, I tell you for example, the chess game I told you, like, it is not the one-time decision. It is not the one-time decision. For example, if you are planning to go outside, normally in the always daytime, if you are going, okay. If you are see the environment, suppose outside is raining or outside is more dark, then we got to come back. Then we got to take either torchlight or umbrella. So that means whenever our application is not completed within the one level, you have the n number of levels are there. In each level, you will get the plus or minus. That means positive or negative. Reward level is there means then in that type of situation, that type of problem, you prefer reinforcement learning.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Even I'm looking at one more application, like it is an idea. I got it. See, when BMTC buses are going on in our Bangalore roads, so how I can reduce the traffic, because many times we'll see that the buses are going empty. Okay, so but depends upon the people, how many people are there inside the bus. Thereby we can schedule the buses. So by using
Yes.
giving tickets.
Suppose on the peak, more people are going standing.
Yes,
In the
because always
very
sometimes all buses will go only one time only. At a time they'll all will leave. So how we can schedule and how we can instruct the drivers where how you can do, and unnecessarily scheduling can be done. So even there also I'm looking at IoT with cloud.
You see that things, if you take the 1 day data, if you take the 1 day bus transportation 1 day data, morning 8 to 9, there's maybe more traffic, or lunch between 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, where there is a less number of frequency. Okay,
that is
if you are taking the data, then you have to reduce the route, reduce the services.
That is true, sir. That is an action plan. But how I can study
morning, we have to increase. If you are avoiding the standings and other, you increase the service. In the lunch, I think these already implemented in some of the places. Mostly you see the bus service, but morning they will give more services.
Correct, sir. But here I want to have the connect with the tickets. The person, when a bus conductor is issuing the ticket, the cloud data should be updated. Thereby they will know like how many passengers are passing by.
Ma'am, I will tell another one example. My is working in Dubai. Okay, what their thing is, whenever you are parking the car in unparked area, suppose it is a no parking area,
yes,
automatically your vehicle number will be captured. Number is captured. The number automatically bank account, the fine is deducted.
Will be given fine. Yes.
Fine without his knowledge. He may get some time salary. Some 2,000 rupees may be deducted. They may say that this belongs to the fine. You parked the car in that particular one location. There is no traffic. There is no need for the traffic police. There is no need for the argument, discussion with the car driver and the police. Everything is automatic.
Yes, sir.
These things are some will come in our country also.
Right, sir. Right.
Okay, ma'am. I hope
okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Wonderful session, sir. Excellent, sir. Thank you so much. Very good ideas. I got it. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Arun sir, I think I'll close the session. I think no questions are getting posted. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll disconnect the session, sir, right now.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you, participants. Tomorrow the session will go on time. There is no change and there is no things on the schedule. So we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.